conflict of interest because this property was sold through Valemount Real Estate, and I'm the managing broker there, and Councillor Salt is going to take the public hearing.
I guess I won't be. So, do you have a paper copy there, Your Worship?
Yes, I do, and there is also the public hearing statement which you'll present. Okay? Good. It's the only fun I get. That's the only fun. Yeah. Sliding in.
Johnny, could you close the door, please? Could you close the door?
Close the door. Close that door to the hallway.
Thank you.
So may I have a motion to adopt the agenda for the June 23rd public hearing? Staff recommendation that Council adopts the agenda for the June 23rd, 2015 public hearing. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Reimer. For action, public hearing for Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 740, 2015. This public hearing is being convened pursuant to Section 890 of the Local Government Act in order to consider Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw 740, 2015. At this public hearing, any person present who believes that his or her interest is in property may be affected by Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 740, 2015, shall be given an opportunity to be heard on the matters contained in the proposed bylaw. However, it is important that all who speak at this meeting restrict their remarks to matters contained in the proposed bylaw, and it is my responsibility as chairperson of this meeting to ensure that all remarks are so restricted. Those of you who wish to speak concerning Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 740, 2015, should, at the appropriate time, commence your address to Council and meeting by clearly stating your name and address. Then you may give us the benefit of your views concerning the proposed temporary use permit. Members of Council may, if they so wish, ask questions of you following your presentation. However, the main function of the Council members this evening is to listen to the views of the public. It is not the function of Council at this public hearing to debate the merits of Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 740, 2015. Everyone who deems his or her interest in property to be affected shall be given the opportunity to be heard at this meeting. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making his or her views known. After this public hearing has concluded, Council may, without further notice, give whatever effect Council believes proper to the representation made at this hearing. During the course of a public hearing, people sometimes tend to become enthusiastic or emotional. Regardless of whether you favor or oppose any particular application or argument, please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotion. Restraint enables others whose views may or may not coincide with your own to exercise their rights to express their views, and enables all views expressed to be heard in as impartial form as possible.
Good evening, Acting Mayor Salt and members of Council. I'm Andrew Young, Corporate Officer and Planner for the Village. I'm here to provide a brief, public hearing brief concerning the proposed site-specific text amendment to Valemount's Institutional and Cultural Facilities P3 zone, which is in support of a single-family residential development proposed at 1080 Main Street in Valemount. The applicants are David Rades and Debbie Orens. They are the owners of the subject property. The purpose of the application is to seek Council's approval of bylaw number 740, 2015, which is a bylaw to amend the text of the village's institutional and cultural facilities P3 zone to support, as I mentioned, the development of a single-family residence within the former church building located at 1080 Main Street. A bit of background, the owners of the subject property have submitted an application to amend the P3 zone in order to support the development of a single-family residence within the former church on the site. The applicants have stated it is their intention to rehabilitate and renovate the building without compromising the profile of the building structure. As stated in bylaw number 740, the proposed site-specific text amendment to the P3 zone would allow a single-family dwelling permitted only within the former church building located on Lot 1, District Lot 9778, Caribou District Plan 10662. Property identification number is 010403019, and attached additions to the rear or side of the existing structure. The recommendation is that Council, subject to any comments received during the public hearing, give third reading to Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 740. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any public comments in regards to public hearing June 23rd, amendment bylaw 740-2015? For a second time, are there any public comments regarding Valemount zoning bylaw 610-2007, amendment bylaw number 740-2015? For a third and final time, are there any comments regarding Village of Valemount zoning bylaw 610-2007, amendment bylaw 740-2015? Were there any written comments submitted?
There were no written comments.
Council, do you have anything to say at this point? Hearing nothing, I adjourn this public hearing.
Okay, call the meeting to order, please. And the first item on the agenda, first item on the agenda is to welcome Regional District Director Area H, Danielle Allen. Welcome to Valemount, and thank you for attending our council meeting and for showing your interest in what goes on here. Thanks. Adoption of the agenda. 2.1, the staff recommends that council adopts the agenda for the June 23rd, 2015 regular meeting of council. Moved by Councillor Torgerson and seconded by Councillor Salt that the agenda be adopted. Are there any additions? Councillor Torgerson, you have something?
Yeah, there's no, thank you, Your Worship. There was no attachment in the electronic version to the SOFI report, but there is a paper copy.
So that's everything satisfactory then?
One correction.
One correction?
Last page, item number 15. In the last sentence, I think that should be an or, not an of.
Okay.
Under item number 15.
15.1?
Related to labor relations.
Or.
Or.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So adopted as amended then. All in favor? Carried. And adoption of the June 9, 2015 regular meeting of council. Motion please to adopt the minutes. Councillor Torgerson and Councillor Blanchette. Are there any errors or omissions? No. Hearing none, I declare them adopted as printed and circulated. 3.2, reporting out from the minutes of June 9, 2015 in-camera meeting. That council reports out its May 26, 2015 in-camera meeting decision to send an approved letter to the homeowners impacted by the 2014 sewer backups who were present in the delegation to the in-camera council meeting on March 24, 2015. And there is no resolution required. It is the redacted in-camera council meeting of 26th of May minutes. Okay, 3.3, adoption of the minutes of the June 15th, 2015 special meeting of council. Staff recommendation that council adopts the minutes of the June 15 special meeting. Salt and Torgerson. Are there any Errors or omissions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Reading file, there is no motion required. Administrative reports, 8.1, Village of Valemount 2014 report, pages 25 to 64. And the staff recommendation is that council approves the 2014 report as presented. Motion, please. Okay, Blanchette and Salt. Are there any comments or remarks or questions?
Nice report.
Okay, good. Hearing none then, all in favor? Carried. Community Conversations 2015 Plan, 8.2. And that is number 1 is Community Conversations 2015 Plan Staff Report. And the recommendation is that council receives the Community Conversations 2015 Plan Report for information only. So could I have a motion, please, Blanchette and Reimer? And is there any discussion?
What time does this start?
The open house starts at 3 o'clock and community conversation starts at 7. We do need to keep it pretty tight because we need to clean that night for a funeral yet the next day. But
okay. And information will be given out to council as to who takes on which topic? Or?
we thought we'd maybe have a quick discussion after the meeting today. It's not anything that requires a resolution, but...
Okay, that's good. Council is comfortable with that? Councillor Blanchette?
And the open house will consist of?
The open house will have a number of village tables as well as the community forest table and Tourism Valemount, as those are entities of the village.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And board members will be present?
For the community forest?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I think their staff is running the table.
Okay, and tourism?
And again, I think the staff is...
Staff, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so all in favor of receipt for information? Did you have a question, Councillor Blanchette? Oh, you're all in favor?
I'm all in favor.
Okay, carried. 8.3, write-off of uncollectible assets. There is a staff report, and the staff recommendation is that council approves the following resolution: that the Minister of Community, Sport and Cultural Development be requested to issue an order pursuant to Section 315.3 of the Local Government Act to provide authority to the Council of the Village of Valemount for the write-off of property taxes receivable for the following properties which are deemed uncollectible. And so one is at 99 Gord Street in the amount of $603.63. The second is 26584 Cranberry Manufactured Home Park, and in the amount of $578.27. What is council's wish? Councillor Torgerson?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and seconded by Councillor Salt. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Agenda item 8.4, Public Works Committee recommendation regarding vacant lot utility fees. 1, Public Works Committee report regarding vacant lot utility fees. 2, utility billing letters and responses. The staff recommendation is that council approves that the vacant lot utility fees remain in place with an understanding that utility fees will be re-evaluated upon completion of the cost of services study. Okay, what is council's wish?
Councillor Torgerson was at the meeting. Do you have any?
Yeah, I'll make the motion with discussion, please.
Okay, second, Salt. Okay, open for discussion.
So at the Public Works Committee meeting, as requested by council back in February, we recently were able to have one this month. Through discussion with committee members as well as Director of Finance McNee, we hashed out some costing and things of what is a vacant lot, what are they paying for, lifespan of infrastructure, the differences between parcel taxes and fees, one having an end game, like a deadline. So a lot of people will see on their tax forms from the village that you will have a parcel tax, and it'll be in a X amount of dollars for an X amount of years. It's a deadline. So in that case, you are paying, from what I'm understanding, for the water treatment facility. So I think there's about 13 years left on that, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Yanciw? Okay. The other things that people are paying for right now through their vacant lot fees, utility fees, are the pipes in the ground. They too have a lifespan. So the recommendation came forward from that meeting that we keep this instilled until, and be reevaluated upon completion of the cost of services study. That RFP is out now, and a response and/or report is due end of this year.
So the owners of vacant land will be apprised when? If there will be any changes?
As soon as council approves or makes a
No, but I
resolution.
mean, Councillor Torgerson said that
The cost of services study
a study is done at the end of the year?
will be reported out by the end of the year,
Okay,
this calendar year,
okay.
which is our fiscal year as well.
Okay, so then the vacant landowners will know next January?
Yes.
Okay,
Now-
they'll be advised accordingly?
That being said, Your Worship, reading these utility billing letters and responses from the village, it seems to me, in summary, that the $263 annual fee to all vacant lot owners seems to be stifling development. And I'm in favor of suspending vacant lot fees, put a 3 to 5 year moratorium on it if it pleases them. Because if that's truly stifling development here, we as a village need to encourage development.
I agree.
Okay, so let's take that $263. Let's eat it. Let's just gobble it up. It's going to cost the village $140,000 to $280,000 for 3 to 5 years. And let's wait for this cost of services study. Let's have a look at development. Is by squashing this, and I'm not in favor of squashing, I'm in favor of putting a suspension on it for an X amount of years. That's up to council. I'm just throwing some ideas out here. Now, should we see an uprise in development? We've enabled that. As council, we were successful by dropping one particular fee. We will see, I'm gambling that we will see a rise in development. Now we have a 4-season resort just on the rise. We have an expansion of a pipeline that may or may not come through here. Now that's a big gamble. Council, what are your wishes?
Councillor Blanchette?
I have a question. In the report here, it mentioned that if we were to forego the vacant lot fee, that every other resident would be on the hook for that. Is that still going to be the case?
I mean, it's up to council. You could see 700 other lots in town take a hit of $80 a year. Now, I don't know, are seniors responsible for the vacant lots? Are the impoverished and the low income responsible for vacant lots? Now, again, I'm just throwing it out here. Let's put a squash on it. Not a squash, a moratorium. The City of Trail was very successful in their downtown revitalization. They put a moratorium on any higher assessed property values due to a beautification program they had in their downtown area. So you saw your assessment go up because you made your building or your land better. They put a moratorium on the increased taxes on set assessment. So that actually opened business into the downtown area. It made their downtown better. These letters are telling me that this fee is stifling development. So let's put a moratorium on it.
Yes, when those who purchased lots to build their retirement homes said they're not going to build here, that's serious.
And others are
Yeah.
fearful that they're
That's
not
right.
able to flip it as
Yeah,
quickly.
that's right.
You know, there's been some that have been sitting on a piece of land that has not really gone up in value, and yet they're being hit with a utility fee for a pipe they never put in the ground. But we still have to replace that pipe. Remember that.
Councillor Salt?
I'd like some clarification as well. In this report, it says there are 180 vacant properties. To me, there is a difference between vacant property and vacant lot. Vacant property means, to me, that it's a property perhaps that's been developed with like a vacation home. Vacant lot to me is bare land. So I would like clarification, that 180, is that all vacant lots?
Those are bare land.
Those are all bare land. So we're looking at doing a moratorium when only 10 of 180 letters were received? That's 6%.
I'm throwing it out there for council.
What if instead of, because then based on this, we are currently, vacant lands are, with buildings, are paying. A vacant lot utility fee was imposed at half the amount. What if we looked at, instead of doing a moratorium altogether, even reducing it more? So that we're not totally putting the village in a huge crunch as far as infrastructure replacement. Where are we going to find this money out of our budget?
No, go ahead, Councillor.
Well, and we have to clarify too, are we gonna hit up everybody else? Myself included, I live in town. Am I gonna have to pay another $80?
It's kind of tough to ask
Yeah,
some of the
it's,
people that are
You know, like,
already on fixed incomes, you know, seniors, disability, et cetera, and to ask them to be paying extra for people that are more fortunate to have investment properties.
Okay, Councillor Torgerson.
The other question is, and I forgot it, what will we have to amend the 5-year financial plan? Because we're taking such a hit, should we decide to put a moratorium or reduce said fees?
Can I clarify that we can't go back in time? You cannot ever backdate a bylaw, and
Okay.
this is established through bylaw.
Yeah.
And so,
So it's good for this fiscal year.
what you're considering now is decisions for 2016 utility billing. And again, the recommendation is to wait until the cost of services study has been completed prior to making decisions either way.
Okay. Councillor Reimer, you wanted to say something?
Well, there's a few things that I see in this. First of all, I think I've heard a few times tonight that if we kill this tax, which it is, that we'd have to replace that money. I think it's significant that a lot of the people that wrote this, that they're among those people, and I'm sure that there would be others, who are business people who not only have invested considerable amount of money in this community already, but continue to do so and pay a substantial amount of property tax for their investments, that they're the ones that stepped up to the plate and wrote these letters. And some of these people have investments in other communities. And I think one of the letters that probably illustrates that more is a letter that came from Valemount Holdings, where he says that they have other shopping centers in small towns, Oliver, Lillooet, Clearwater, Powell River, and not one of these towns has a policy of charging utility fees for vacant lots. The message kind of comes across that that we're desperate. And I think the message from a business person to the village is look for efficiencies. Look for efficiencies in the way that you spend money. Look for efficiencies in what you do with the money that you're already taking in. Don't just look to increase and to do that. Things aren't good in a lot of places in rural BC. And I think I've mentioned before, we live in a competitive economy. And if we want people to come here and to park their money here and to continue development, we better be seen as being competitive. Otherwise, those people are going to keep going right through and find other areas where they can make a whole bunch more money and proportionately pay a whole lot more in fees and utilities and taxes and everything else. And we won't have to worry about replacing infrastructure because there won't be anybody around to replace infrastructure for. So if we don't look at our own backyard and look at what we do here and find efficiencies and cut costs and quit doing this, we won't have to worry about dealing with us.
Yes,
So is that not what the cost of services study would do? Is it evaluate our costs and efficiencies and weigh and measure those?
Right.
Yeah.
Your worship, if I could point out, if the decision ends up being to repeal this, you are effectively reducing what all those people have been charged up until now. Because reducing their amounts, because this used to be a parcel tax and it has now been converted to a utility fee.
Okay. Councillor Blanchette?
The utility fees have been paid for this year, 2015. The bills have gone out and they've been paid?
In March.
Okay, and so now it's not going to be due again until next 2016 March, right?
Yes.
And the cost of service study's coming in December? So have we not got some time to wait and find out what that report says, and then when we have a little bit more information, we can sit down again and figure out what we're going to do?
Councillor Salt?
Well, the cost of services study also benchmark with some of the other communities, as mentioned in some of the letters from these other citizens. Like, will they do any other benchmarking?
I'm not sure how they're doing it because the cost of services study is being coordinated with 3 other communities. We definitely will have their benchmarking in there.
But perhaps is that something we could ask for, or has the
I'm not
RFP gone
sure
out?
because
Yeah, it is.
Because,
Gone out?
yeah, it's gone out. Because what you're evaluating is the actual cost of studies.
Yeah.
You're not looking
Our
at what
actual
other,
costs.
yeah.
Who are the other communities?
Montrose and Cusp, I think.
Okay. Similar in population? The Cusp, I think, is larger.
Cusp is slightly larger.
Yes,
We
quite a
have
bit.
1,600.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's close.
I think it's close, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we have time.
What is council's wish? Any more discussion on this or further recommendations? I guess now that everybody else has spoken, my feeling is this, as I mentioned previously, several months ago, you know, all the taxpayers pay for power lines to be constructed and power be made available to communities. But you don't pay power bills unless you're using property power. If I don't use any hydro at my house, I don't pay any bills. My taxes went to pay for the construction of the transmission lines and the distribution lines, but not for the electricity that's being used by somebody else. So that's my feeling. Okay, if there's, yes.
Just want to point
Yes.
out that there's a very, very public service that is in front of just about every vacant lot in the village, and that is fire protection. Whether you use it or not, I'm not finished.
Okay.
The cost of maintaining those is about $500 per, and we have well over 100 of them
Per year?
per year. We pay about $50,000 if we were to contract this service out. Public Works does it. But if you're to put full Blue Book rates to manpower, equipment, guts in, guts out, inspections,
Okay.
it's about $500 per.
Per lot.
per fire hydrant.
Fire hydrant.
And some of those lots have 7, 8, 9, 10 fire hydrants in front of them. And this fee is not indicative of size of lot.
Just as a
And I
follow-up.
agree, however, if there is no construction of any kind on that lot, what do they care about fire protection?
Trees.
Your neighbors.
Yeah, your
Okay.
neighbor's properties.
You have to
Yeah.
watch it for the neighbors.
All right. Okay.
Thank you for letting me ramble, Your
Okay,
Worship.
did you want to say something?
Nope.
No?
It
Okay,
was just the trees.
it was just the trees. Well, not all lots have trees on them either, but that's all right. We're all entitled to our opinions. And that was mine. Okay,
One other question.
yes?
If a developer develops new lots, who pays for the infrastructure that goes into the ground?
The developer does.
It'd be part of the DPP, wouldn't it?
Okay,
It should be the developer.
so
is the developer.
if the developer pays for the infrastructure that goes into the ground, the water and sewer lines to start with, and he's got 100 lots, are we then going to charge him on top of that another $273 every year for the water and sewer lines that he's just paid to put in? Is that fair? He's just paid for them.
But you have to build up a reserve for when they need to be replaced.
That's
Sorry.
just not fair.
Do you have a solution? Because I mean, it would be great. Like, this is a really hard topic,
Please address the chair.
you know?
Please address the chair. All right, is there any further discussion or questions? Is the council ready for the question then? All in favor? Carried. Opposed? Okay. You want your opposing vote recorded?
please.
Okay. So it's, it passes with one negative vote. All right, 8.5, Director of Finance seeking approval of the SOFI report. Staff recommendation that council approves the 2014 SOFI report as submitted by the Director of Finance. Motion, please. Torgerson and Blanchette, and it's open for discussion. No discussion, council? Yes, Torgerson.
We just received these, so it'll take me a minute.
Okay. Oh, you haven't seen them?
No.
No, they're not part of the electronic version.
Okay. For them to read, we can. Okay, does council agree to recess for about 3 minutes for you to read it? Or do you need more than 3 minutes?
A minute. I just need a minute to scan it and
Okay,
look for
2-3 minutes?
consistencies or
Okay,
inconsistencies.
okay, so we'll recess for 2 or 3 minutes then. Go ahead and read it.
Good to go.
You're good to go? Everybody's good to go? Okay. All right, so our recommendation is that council approves the report as submitted by the Director of Finance, Blanchette and Torgerson, okay? And is there any discussion? Councillor Salt.
Your Worship, I was just clarifying with CAO Yanciw that this is public information. Unfortunately, it just hadn't gotten onto the electronic agenda in time.
Okay.
So normally it is made available to the media and the public. So should anyone wish to want to see the report, they should contact the staff at the village office.
Feel free to contact me.
Okay, thank you very much. You might be very busy tomorrow.
I'm always busy.
Okay. All right, if there's no further discussion, all in favor? Carried. All right. Bylaws and policies, the Village of, is this the one I leave? Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to declare a conflict of interest for agenda item number 9.
Clarification.
Pardon?
There's, oh yeah,
Yes.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And you should state why, Your Worship.
Please, could you restate your purpose
Oh,
of your...
to restate my purpose, it's because the church building was listed and sold through Valemount Real Estate, where I'm the managing broker. Okay, Councillor Salt. Yes. Thank you. So you can stay now.
Yes, we should actually, for clarification, point out that Councillor Torgerson is no longer in the
So for clarification, we would like to point out that Councillor Torgerson is no longer in a conflict as the property has actually, the deal has completed and closed, so he is no longer in conflict. So the staff recommendation is that council, subject to any comments received during the June 23rd, 2015 public hearing, gives third reading to Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 740, 2015. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Torgerson, any discussion?
Just, it's been great sitting at the library watching all the stuff happening. It's good.
Certainly, I noticed that today too. I was
Yep.
like, my goodness, they're really going, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing further, I'll call the question. All in favor? All in favor?
Just about at the end, and I think that makes
And quick, hey.
Get points for that.
Okay. Now, 9.2, Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007 amendment bylaw. Number 741, 2015, proposed site-specific text amendment to the village's service commercial C3 zone to support a proposed subdivision of property located at 880 Bevan Crescent, Valemount. And we have 1, bylaw number 741, staff report and bylaw. 2, service commercial C3 zoning schedule. And 3, bylaw number 741, 2015, proposed C3 zoning amendment. The staff yes,
Mayor?
sorry?
I will need to recuse myself.
Okay,
I'm acting for the property owner.
okay.
Councillor, in what capacity are you acting?
That's a notary?
Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, staff recommendations are that council supports a proposed site-specific text amendment to the village's service commercial C3 zone and possible approval for first and second reading of Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 741, 2015, being a bylaw to amend the accessory uses and accessory buildings provisions in section 14.4.2 of the C3 zone. 2, gives first and second reading to the Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 741, 2015. And 3, refers Village of Valemount zoning bylaw number 610, 2007, amendment bylaw number 741, 2015 to an upcoming public hearing, or 4, to deny the application. What is council's wish? Councillor Torgerson?
I move to support a proposed site-specific text amendment, give first and second reading for the following bylaws, and refer this to a public hearing.
Okay, second that, and second by Councillor Blanchette. Okay, is there any discussion? No, hearing none, all in favor? Carried. So Councillor Reimer can come back in. Okay, item 10.1, council reports. I'll start with Councillor Torgerson.
On the 16th, I attended a meeting of VARDA. The mountain bike park is well underway. There were some hashed out boundaries with the Saddle and Wagon Club, which was had open communication and a very cooperative meeting. Chapel Creek access is needed for winter trail maintenance. There is, and this is huge, there's a possible closure of the Clamina access, which is one of the more popular snowmobiling areas south of town. Potentially year-round closure because of the construction of the independent power producer. Now, if Clamina closes for 2 years, you're going to see a hit probably of 30% of snowmobilers here in town. It's that popular. So I plead to council that we give VARDA the support they need in order to either A, find an alternate access to that pristine snowmobiling area, or two, take this higher. It's not going to be good if Clamina closes. In better news, Clamina Creek cabin maintenance is going well. And there was a 2-day mountain bike trail workshop, which was very well received, lots of volunteers with rep from the Sink First Nation. And on the 19th, as a member of Cangia, I attended a conference call and presentation on geothermal policy mechanisms and levelized cost of energy workshop right here in the council chambers. Didn't cost anybody a thing. They're looking at some Canadian tax incentives similar to what the oil and gas industry is enjoying right now. You drill a hole, you find nothing, you get 50% back. But they're having some identification issues as to what geothermal is. Is it oil and gas or is it surface? Is it mining or is it oil and gas? Is it surface rights or is it... So there's some Income Tax Act legislation and policy amendments in order to head to the feds. Because right now they're arguing that geothermal is a hybrid. It's currently not contemplated in the current act. The Scientific Development and Experimental Research Team has teamed up with the Canadian Aerospace Agency to do further studies in regards to the Geological Survey of Canada to get that higher arc of surveys and reconnaissance. So there's some really cool technology exchanges. They're working with oil and gas right now to mandate data logs to make it more of a public available. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. We have Director Allen here, but that Clamina is in her region.
It is so.
Her area, and perhaps her assistance could be
much needed.
enlisted.
Much needed.
Okay, thanks. Councillor Salt.
Unfortunately, due to other scheduling conflicts, I wasn't able to participate in a number of the items that I had wished to. So thank you, Councillor Torgerson, for being able to attend the Cangia. I really wanted to attend that. And Councillor Blanchette, I really wanted to attend the senior abuse workshops, but unfortunately wasn't able to. But I did make a special council meeting on Monday the 15th.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Reimer.
I was at the Valemount Community Forest meeting on June 1st, between my last council meeting that I was present at and today, and at the new Valemount Community Forest office building on the premises, which is kind of terrific,
Where's their new office building?
out at the old mill site.
Oh,
The Valemount, sure.
okay, I didn't know that. Okay, good, thanks. Okay. Thank you. And Councillor Blanchette, your activities on behalf of council?
So June 15th, we had a special meeting here. On the 15th, we also had the elder abuse and the dementia workshops, which were a really great success. We had over 22 people. There was tons of valuable information, a lot of next steps, and a lot of interest from the citizens, so it was really great to be able to pull all that together. I'd like to, on June 22nd, we had our RVSS AGM, and I'd like to just acknowledge Dee McEachran. She stepped down from the board after 12 years. Big loss. She really a lot of dedication when somebody's been a volunteer board member for 12 years. So a real show of appreciation and a thank you to her. And we have openings, so if anybody is interested, there are looking for openings on the RVSS board, which you know, RVSS, Robson Valley Support Society, has their fingers into a lot of different areas in our town, so it's really a good board to be on because they do a lot of good work.
Thank you. Okay. Mine is brief. Regional District last week, and we had a very interesting presentation from agricultural involved people, those who actually operate large farms. Director Allen was there as well. And we also from Provincial Government Ministry of Agriculture, and it was sort of shocking to learn that there's 10,519 hectares which has been sold to foreign companies for them to plant trees for their carbon offsets, and that has taken the land right out of production period. They're just planting trees and that's it. So we feel that our provincial government has to step in and stop that. Okay. Also, Ominika Beetle Action Coalition and the Northern Development Initiative Trust Prince George Region Advisory Council. We also met last Friday, and of course Regional District Board on Thursday. And details will be released under highlights in the newspapers anyway. So, okay. There's no new business. Oh, we have new business?
No, we have a recommendation to receive the verbal reports.
Oh, okay. Okay, recommendation. Blanchette and Salt. All in favor? Carried. List of outstanding previous council resolutions. Staff recommendation that council accepts the list of outstanding previous resolutions. Pages 109 to 111. Okay. Salt and Blanchette. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Calendar of events for June and July 2015. No motion required, but it's accompanied here. And the floor is now open for public comments. So if anybody wishes to make a public comment on an agenda item, something that was discussed on this agenda.
My name is Rashmi Narayan and I'm living at 1100 3rd Avenue. So I just want to I have a couple of comments about the utility taxes, item that you guys were discussing. And there's a couple of things Your Worship mentioned about utilities, people using or not. And I think utility taxes are a hard thing in general, like a lot of other taxes, but it's very difficult to be fair to everyone. And for my example, I put out a garbage bag once in 6 weeks. That's the amount of recycling I do, as well as I don't buy a lot of processed stuff, which has a lot of packaging. So it's very hard to be fair to everyone. That's just my, in general. The other thing is, I don't see how not having the taxes is going to make it pro-development. In fact, I see that it's a problem that land is not being developed, and because taxes aren't in place sometimes, and it's like often land is being bought and sat on and waited till it appreciates, so that you can make money off of it, or waiting for a big development to go through, and land is not available for people who want to buy it. And that's my concern, is that undeveloped land, unfortunately, is not available to those who want to buy it. And people who have some money now are sitting on land. So these are a couple of my concerns about that item. Okay, thanks.
First of all, my name is Peter Fox, 1195 3rd Avenue in Valemount. Regarding the 2014 annual report finding the financial health of the village very strong, I'd just like to point out that the new council has inherited oversight of a very good situation. Item 8.4, utility billing for vacant lots. I couldn't agree more with or I should say with Rashmi Narayan, because first of all, I would be against the suspension of taxes of utility billing that Councillor Torgerson sought for vacant lots unless the value is transferred directly to the owner's utility bill specifically for that bill, because sitting on land and not developing it is called speculation, and you are making money on it anyway. The population of Trail is 7,600 people, if I'm not mistaken, with significant industrial tax revenue from Cominco. I believe the name of the large industry is there. So I agree with Mr. Reimer that we need to find efficiencies to save money and costs. One place to start, maybe not seeking anytime soon another $20,000 for a so-called organizational review. We have a minimum standard of utilities that is essential for life, community, and it must be maintained here. Water is probably the most essential. I'm pleased that our mayor recused herself this evening, because otherwise the conflict of interest would have been real more than potential. I don't believe it was ever merely perceived, but that's vis-a-vis the last meeting. I would like to ask Mr. Reimer if he wishes for clarification in these chambers, and I do appreciate that that there's client confidentiality, whether the Van Aftens were using his notary services and 25-year-odd knowledge of local municipal process as per advising the proponents and dating documents, because it wasn't a good scene last council meeting, and I'd like to see much improvement. Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else? No? Okay. Motion then to receive the public comments. Blanchette and Torgerson. All in favor? Carried. We have a calendar of events for, sorry. I wanted to give the July 2nd information.
So you want to go back?
Yes, so I want to go back to calendar of events for July. And I want to thank Councillor Blanchette for reminding me. July the 2nd, Director Danielle Allen will be here, as well as the Honourable Minister Shirley Bond, Kathy MacLeod, present Member of Parliament, Bob Zimmer, who is Member of Parliament for Prince George Peace, and they will be at a barbecue that's hosted by the Valemount Community Forest from 11:30 to 2 o'clock p.m. for meet and greet at the Centennial Park on July the 2nd, 11:30 to 2 o'clock p.m. Okay, any questions, council? No? Okay. So, I would take a motion now, 15.1, staff recommendation, that council proceed to an in-camera council meeting for consideration of one item for section 90.1 of the community charter to discuss matters related to labor relations or other employee relations. Motion please, Blanchette, Torgerson. All in favor? Carried.